Inside Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the post game of the Buffalo Bills versus the Arizona Cardinals. A very tough 32-30 loss. That last play of the game was personally approved by Doug Flutie. I'm not sure. A lot of obviously the Buffalo Bills now are at 7-3. The Arizona Cardinals are at 6-3. A lot of roller coaster of emotions going on with the Buffalo Bills fans, going up with a big lead, then having the lead go away, then having a turnover, then stopping them, and then coming back and winning. It was a bunch of different things that were going on in that game. Paul, I didn't get a chance to talk to you as I was calling the game, giving live reaction. What was your take initially on the game, and how'd you feel about that ending? Yep. Yeah.
Punt, interception, and you generated turnovers in between there, and you just couldn't do anything with them. It was frustrating to see the Bills have opportunities that they had last week, right? But then generate opportunities for Arizona, right? And it was just frustrating to see. And that third quarter was just a desert of productivity outside of the touchdown on a short yarded situation. When you get the ball on the 37-yard line, you're expected to score a touchdown in the NFL. Like that's just the facts, right? So it was a frustrating game because the Bills had control for a majority of this football game, it felt like. But the end of the third quarter and through the start of the fourth quarter felt like the longest football game of my life.
Yeah, I was I blacked out for a quarter. I didn't know that. I didn't even know what was going on over here.
You were calling the game, Mark.
I was calling the game. Out? I felt like Troy Aikman for a half a quarter. I swear to God. No, do not. Buffalo Mafia News, do not do that. Paul, just to kind of fill everybody in, Paul at the beginning of his thing was basically saying this is the reason why you can't take a quarter off as far as the Buffalo Bills go. I mean, we saw the result today of why you cannot have that happen with your football team. You can't just kind of like leisurely go into a game and be like, okay, we're going to make these adjustments and do this and that and the other thing. You saw what the team with a high-powered offense can do to you. I mean, there were things that happened in this game that I said to myself, this is why you lose a game. This is a reason you should lose. When Arizona gets the ball with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left, decides to throw two passes, and then it's third and long, then they have to throw a pass, and you know what I mean? They get three incompletions, and then they end up punting to Buffalo. They didn't make Buffalo use any timeouts. They didn't make Buffalo. They were running the ball for 7 yards a clip. You don't run the ball up the middle anymore. You tried to get too cute with your offense, throwing the ball, this and that. They should have taken the clock down to. Here's two things they could have did: taken the clock down to about 2:30, 2:45, with Buffalo using 0 timeouts, or having Buffalo use 2 or 3 timeouts.
Right.
And then getting the ball back with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. But it was. Yeah. To me, that is why Arizona should have lost. That right there is horrible clock management at the end of a game of what you're supposed to do when you have the lead. You finally got the lead. That's something you should do. I'm not a Cardinals fan. I just hate stupidity. That's why you should lose. And the fact that they didn't was awful. But we pegged this as a loss. You and I both were like, I see them losing the Cardinals game. Okay. But
it was a very competitive football game.
It was.
Right? It was a very competitive football game.
Contested, competitive game. But I was like saying, that is why you lose those games. You should lose games by doing stupid stuff like that. Trying to throw the ball when you got a that point lead or 3-point lead or whatever.
And Arizona was not remiss from, missed opportunities, right? They had a Cody Borquez 13-yard punt. By the way, Cody Borquez also still averaged almost 47 yards a punt today with that 20-yard dud that he dropped in. And the fact that Buffalo was able to get out of there with only 3 points, like, praise be to your defense, right? Because that's a bad situation. They were in a bad situation. And again, up in the game, they start throwing the football. Right, they're winning. They don't have a big lead, right? I think that's probably the way that offense goes. Is we don't know how to, we don't know how to take it easy. We don't know how to just wind this out. So we're just going to keep doing what we've been doing all game, right? But they were running the football at the beginning of the football game very effectively, and then it just seemed like they got away from it. But I want to bring point to something before we get too deep, because I see his name brought up 1,000 times in the chat, and that's Dawson Knox. Yeah. We had a heavy dose of Dawson Knox, and it was tough for me to find where he is in this offense, right? Because he was on the field the whole game. But I want to bring call out to 2 major points that Dawson Knox had the biggest impact on this game, and I think it really was a turning point in the game. First off, they get the offsides call, right? Free play. Dawson Knox gets called for an illegal block, right? Brings a free play back. Nice big gain, right? Yep. The very next play, the Bills throw an interception. Who are they targeting? Dawson Knox. Right, because they got back in the huddle, and what was the conversation? Sorry, that's on me. Give me a chance to get it back, right?
I don't care.
And here's the thing, right?
I'm not going back to you.
Right. Well, that's me too, right? That's me too. Your depth is pretty thin when you're looking around. You're like, you're still in this huddle after that penalty? You're still here? But that play gets me a little bit, because if you look at Diggs and you look at Knox, they were right on top of each other. So either Diggs ran that route way too long, which is what I think, because I don't think you push Knox across you that far down the field on purpose, right?
You could.
I don't think that's not by design, right? I think Knox ran the right route. I think Diggs' route ran too long, and he dragged Peterson with him, you know?
Diggs' route, if you remember, and I know Buffalo Bills fans will remember Knox's catches because they are so few and far between. Against the Patriots last year, remember he had that deep ball that he caught? It was contested if it was a touchdown or not in Foxborough. You remember that one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what that route was. And like you said, I think Diggs ran his route a little too deep on that. So, yeah, when you have 2 guys in one area like that, that's not supposed to happen. All right? So, Apex is getting so mad because I keep saying the word Knox. But, we highlighted a long, long time ago about the usefulness of tight ends in a Brian Daboll offense. And how it's so ironic that the guy coached Gronkowski for years and doesn't have anything like that. You know what I mean? I was like, so as far as he goes, when people said when Croft was out, I was like, okay, it's okay. They don't use tight ends anyway. It doesn't matter to me. But yeah, as far as that goes, the block in the back that negated the long play, I can't put 100% of it on the play calling. I can't put 100% because
go ahead. Before we go down that road, Paul Berg said that it sounds like the media says that throw was supposed to go to Diggs and Josh overthrew him. I don't think there's any way in the world that you stack those routes like that, right? I don't think there's any way in the world that throw is supposed to go to Diggs. No way. No way. Knox was under the safeties, right? Like, Knox is the guy. You're throwing that. If you're throwing it, it's to Knox, because Diggs had not beat Peterson, right? Like, I understand Peterson was on the outside on that play, but that throw is not to Diggs. Knox is the right throw there. It's Diggs' route brought Peterson into the play. Knox was under the safeties. I mean, I'm not faulting Josh on that, because I really feel like Diggs' route was too long. But if they both ran the same routes, that play's got to go in the trash bin, right? Because that is just bad play design. You can't be leaving guys out there like that. That's terrible.
DLC, please, for my own sanity, please do not put those words in that order ever again.
Yeah.
Again. Here's my comment I was about to make. I can't put 100% of it on there because you have to. I think you have to agree on this point, and I think Paul does. We've talked about it before. This offense looks completely different without Smoke in it. Mm-hmm. When Smoke's not in the lineup, this offense looks complete. Now, if you could tell me that the offense does not look different without Smoke, then yeah, you could put 100% on the play calling. But when Smoke's in there, this offense goes from where it was to where it has to be. When he got taken out of the game, it's so much tough. It's so much tougher to run certain types of plays because then they're able to shift coverages towards Diggs. Okay? And then when you shift coverages towards Diggs, you decide to put Beasley and Diggs on the same side of the field. That's what I don't like. Don't do that. Okay? If Smoke's not in there, don't put Knox and a rookie Gabriel Davis on one side. Then you put Beasley and you put Beasley and Diggs on the other. Where do you think they're going to tilt coverage? Now, if you're purposely doing that to tilt coverage to that side so Allen can throw backside, then freaking throw backside. You're not doing that. Right. I don't know what he's doing. Right.
Yeah. And again, the chat's blowing up talking about Brian Winters. John Brown makes a hell of a catch. Yes. Probably sprains his MCL on the reception.
You saw that too, huh?
And it was that was the knee that was not already aggravated. He was taped up on the left knee. When he dropped, you saw his right leg. You saw his foot up by his ass, right on the side. And you're like, okay, clearly this is not the way it's supposed to be. Like last time I saw somebody do that, like dollar bills were being thrown at them. So that was not on purpose. It to see that play get called back because of Brian Winters was just exactly what was happening in this game. You had like 4 penalties in a row. You were like third and forever, right? It was like, oh, he's like, darn, he's over the century against this guy. That was the Bills in the fourth quarter on that drive. Like it was so frustrating. It was penalty after penalty after penalty. They couldn't get out of their own way. It's Singletary. Singletary gets an unsportsman, and you're just like, That's ridiculous. Like, what the hell? What the hell? You didn't see him the rest of the game. Moss came in, and my God, Moss is rough in pass protection. Oh my God, Moss is rough in pass protection.
Here's my problem. Here's my problem with all of that stuff. Number one, you're right. Moss got exposed in pass pro today. But you know what? When you have all 11 guys within 6 yards of each other, that's what freaking happens. And nobody has their hand. One guy has his hand in the dirt on the front line. I'm planning on losing my voice here. But you're talking about Murray who throws for like 245. And the fact that he threw for 245 against, there's no Marlowe there. There's no Marlowe. There's no Wallace. There's no Norman. You had Dane Jackson, Ciaran Neal, Trey White, and then Hayden Poyer playing 100% of the snaps. Well, I mean, Jackson didn't play 100 because he got taken. I was worried about him. Get some sleep. Shut up, DLC. I'm just gonna fire off everybody.
The super chat says, "What sucks is I have nothing to say about Dawkins because he played okay. I'm torn. That nice block, right on the Josh Allen touchdown. He did later almost get Allen killed because he couldn't pick up the edge, but with that donation."
Hold on that minute, Paul. No. I know. Yeah, we got audio problems again.
Do we have audio right now? Let me check. Yeah, we got audio, Mar. We're good.
Can you hear me, Paul?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
I can't even hear Paul. This is great.
You can't hear me?
We good, but I can't hear Paul. This is amazing. All right. Paul's not talking. Both good? Both good. Hold on. I got an idea. Keep talking, Paul.
Oh, great. So this is the part of the show where Mario goes to do something technical, and he'll come back with like an empanada and some hot sauce. Be like, I got up to do something. I don't remember what it was. All right. So what you guys saw, Paul Berg donated $50 in the super chat. So tonight, actually, if you were the top donator, then you're going to be on an episode of Hashtag this week. So that's pretty exciting. Tim Ellington talks about Dane Jackson. I do definitely want to talk about Dane Jackson. And one thing you guys might not be able to see, if you look right here, we have, that's right, that's a prize wheel. Mars calling me. Hey, Mario.
This is the only way I can hear you, apparently.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because I can't hear you on the thing, but whole Hashtag Nation can hear you. That's fine.
Okay, sweet. Hold up. Let me just mute my computer audio real fast. Hold on one sec. Okay. Okay, can you still hear me now?
I still got the desktop audio for you, yes.
All right, sweet. All right. Nice.
This is how it's going to go, apparently, for the night.
Audio sounds.
Every time I knock the phone jack out.
Okay. Sweet deal. Let me just double check to make sure everybody can
No, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I think we're good, right? Okay.
Did you turn your phone off?
So the prize wheel that is located right behind me. Tonight, what we will be doing is there will be a punishment for those in Hashtag Nation. And that punishment will be if basically whatever you guys want. That's actually how it's going to go. It'll be for whatever you guys want. Mar and I are on the bye week, so we'll be getting back in the car. And Mar, here's what I think I'll do. Let me go grab my wireless headset because these are just headphones. So let me grab my wireless headset and I'll be right back. All right. Hold on. Un momento. Oh, you know what?
I have no idea what Paul's doing at this point. Punishment Mario already yelled at me. Yeah, I did. This is the kind of communication that the Bills have apparently all the time. So Paul can get a lot more than 50. Start donating people. You don't have to see my ugly mug. Mario on the one. Mario one-on-one drills against Star. He's not doing anything. Wow. I don't know if that would work out. While Paul's away, I'm going to try to, quarterback this episode for you guys. Yeah, I can't. Here's what happens. I have an audio jack that I plugged in. I knocked it out, and as soon as I plug it back in, when I plug it in, I can hear Paul. You guys can't. If I unplug it, you guys can hear Paul. I can't. That's basically how it works. But everyone. Wow, not old-fashioned trousers, no. But basically, the thing that we were talking about, including Mario, what? While Davo snacked, yeah. The play calling, obviously, when you have smoke in the lineup versus smoke not in the lineup, it happens to be a different kind of animal. What is that? Do we have a fighter pilot coming in here? What in the heck is this? What is this? I'm going to call him. This is hysterical. Did you just see this? I can't wait to see this. He's ready for another Jets game. I can't with you, Paul. This would have been fine if I didn't get excited and talk with my hands and knock out the headset. Paul, you have to call me. I cannot hear you. Is Mario any more confident about his prediction? What prediction would that be? I don't know what prediction no. Eckler will run us dead in 2 weeks. Next 2 weeks, I'm afraid.
Hey, Mark, can you hear me?
No, not at all. Mission control to Commander Paul. Paul, I tried to call you on your phone. That's why it's not working.
Yeah.
Are you Picking it up?
Call me. Yeah, give me a call.
I just did. Paul looks like he's about to call a game. Yeah, right. I got about 3 or 4 of those bad boys.
This is brutal, guys. This is brutal.
Are you picking up your phone? I'm calling right now. It's been calling. That's the worst one. I have 2 weeks. Yeah, that's right, with the bye week. But we're going to tell you guys that we're going to be in the car this Saturday. Paul, fine. Just call me, dude. Look at Paul's mouth movement, no words. Yeah, that's right. He's about to call a game. No, seriously, we're gonna be in the car this Saturday, and we're gonna have a bunch of episodes for you guys. Which means that Monday we're gonna have on the community tab. We're gonna have rapid fire questions. So what you guys can do is that you throw as much of questions as you can in the chat or on the community tab that we're gonna have. But in order to get those on the community tab, you got to be subscribed to the channel. So if you're new here and you want to get all your Buffalo Bills content, you want to be on the rapid fire segment, you can comment any of your you can comment anything you want on there of whatever questions you want us to answer as far as the Bills go going into the bye week. That's what we did for the past 2 years. During the bye week, we take our little drive in the car. It's always a good time. Paul's flip phone. Paul's got a flip phone with dial-up internet. Like, really? Is that what we're talking about right now? No idea. So, Paul's scripting the gameplay. Paul, did you call me on your phone? You mutant. I've called. He's including my question. Yeah, Trousers, you've been on a couple rapid fire episodes as far as your what we've talked about. So we're going to be in the car. We're going to do a bunch of that stuff. And then the biggest contributor will be on an episode of Hashtag as well. So Paul, what are you writing down? I don't even know what he's writing down at this point. Paul, can you please pick up? You there? No? He probably is listening to music right now. I wouldn't put it past him. What would you guys rather listen to, me or him? Jesus. That's it. Give us 1 second. We'll be right back. Hello, Paul.
Yo.
How are you?
I'm good.
What were you trying to do?
Some sort of disturbance in the force out here. There we go.
Are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Okay, this is good. Mr. President?
Oh, God. So I run upstairs because I don't ever use like a wireless headset. Everything I have is USB, which obviously isn't going to solve anything if I'm on my cell phone. So I looked at my kid who's playing Fortnite. I was like, give me those. So there we go. There we go.
It's not efficient.
Can we get back to business, please, for the love of God? Basically,
I was just telling everybody that on the bye week, we're going to be going in the car. We're going to be putting out the rapid fire comments in the community section tab. So you have to be a member of Hashtag in order to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But now my camera wants to be kind of funky. Like, I don't understand this.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Damn Apple products.
No one wants to see me anyway.
No, this is probably better for everybody.
This is probably better for everybody. But here's the deal. Now that we've had that little bit of a pause, I do look at Tim Ellington. He just has to do everything he can to mess up. This game does not go to the last play. Now for the simple fact that Hyde, Poyer, and White, your three best secondary guys, all get mossed by one guy,
right?
is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. It looked like Trey was trying to catch the ball. I don't know why.
Yeah, you think so?
It looked like he was. Yeah, Mario's underwater. Or Trey looked like he was trying to catch it.
Mm-hmm.
But Poyer came over. Poyer wasn't even there. He came off of his guy when he saw the ball go up in the air. So he wasn't even on those guys initially. All right. Try to convince me how Oliver is not terrible.
You know what? I got to be honest with you. You know, today again is what the role they're asking Oliver to play is not flashy, but he was getting held really bad inside today. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but last year, the NFL had just a dearth of holding calls. Like, it was unbelievable, the amount of holding calls. It made some games unwatchable. That is not what's happening anymore. The NFL has pulled way back on holding calls, actually about half as many as last year up into this point, probably less than that, truthfully, because the NFL is focused that if it's not towards the play, then it doesn't matter, right? So,
yeah,
I mean, and unfortunately, right, unless it's a run up the middle, those DTs are just going to get held on the interior all day long, right? Like, it's just because plays are often to the outside across the NFL. Like, that's really what happens. Plays are on the outside. The holding penalties you saw today were when the quarterbacks broke contain and the tackle was grabbing onto the edge defender just a little too much. And those were the holding calls today, unless your name's Brian Winters, with that exception.
You know what? No, I said it during the broadcast too, Paul, and I was talking about it. I said, listen, this is ridiculous. The fact that there's one penalty called the entire game. One. Mm-hmm. And the Buffalo Bills get a fortunate bounce off of a Larry Fitzgerald interception. It goes off his hands. They pick it off. Now Laundry has to go over to the field now. Third and 33 at some point, I think it was. But I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, really? Oh, right. A holding call on a play that he's been doing it all game. Winters has been holding all game. I'm not even gonna apologize for the Bills. He's been holding. Right. Ike Bodiger probably holds all game. Both the guards for the Cardinals probably hold all game. Like you said, inside, if it's not to you, they're not gonna call it. Okay, they've been holding. All right, you're gonna call a crackback on a 5'9", 200-pound running back on a defensive lineman who had his hand in the air, mind you, before he hit the ground, saying, "Oh my God," was the best acting job of the night. Yeah, I swear it was ridiculous, and I was getting so unbelievably sick and tired of, oh, wait, there's another call. Oh, wait, there's another call. Where were these calls? Where were they? Yep. And it just got unbelievably frustrating to try to call the game down the middle when the refs weren't.
Well, you know, and Mar, to be honest with you, right? So you have a banged up John Brown, who was banged up before the game even started, right? Yes. He eventually goes out. Really, the thing that highlights to me the biggest problem with the Bills' offense today, and I know this is a microcosm, right? I'm going to blow this a little out of proportion, so just understand that I'm about to do that, right? But your running backs today had 2 receptions, Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. Zach Moss, 1 reception for -3 yards. Devin Singletary, 1 reception for -5 yards. Now, mind you, they had 7 targets combined, right? Now, I understand a couple of those are those dump off passes where Allen's just getting rid of it to avoid the intentional grounding. Be that as it may, because those targets have to go to somebody, right? Be that as it may, with a banged up John Brown and no real tight end play to speak of, your running backs had 2 receptions for -8 yards today. That's not how you win football games in the NFL. Right? You cannot win like that. And these running backs are just a forgotten piece of this offense. I mean, Moss and Singletary combined for 11 carries for 35 yards. You know, like, Allen was your leading rusher again today by a mile. If you combine Singletary and Moss's yardage, Allen still outrushes them. Right? Wow. So and this was a game that you were winning for a while, right? You were winning for most of the game. So just the complete lack of enthusiasm in this running game, the complete lack of ability to get the running backs involved. Like, don't get me wrong, Devin dropped that one easy screen pass, right? It happens. But one of the reasons you don't see Moss as involved is Moss is a very good pass pro. So if you see Moss in a passing set, you're like, well, okay. Like, I know he's not in for pass pro. He's gonna be running a route. But at this point, like you targeted your running back 7 times. They had 2 receptions for -8 yards. You don't win in the NFL. You don't win a game like that. You don't win a game like that.
No, we have talked over and over and over. How many post games now to say, listen, you're going to run into a team that if you try to take a third quarter off, yeah. Now, I think Yeldon, Tony B brings up Yeldon, obviously. I didn't bring him up. Tony B brought him up. Mm-hmm. I think his back. I think there's something going on with Yeldon's back. I'm pretty sure. I mean, the guy had 465 carries at Alabama before he was drafted in Jacksonville. So I don't know. Yeldon, I think, is hurt. I really think he's hurt. I don't know if he's a healthy scratch, but I think he's hurt. No word initially on John Brown, what's going to be going on with him. Obviously, you had Fitzgerald come out on the field and talk to him. I'm not really sure what's going on with him, but obviously, with the developments of how the Buffalo Bills are in their offense, how much more dynamic it is with both Brown and Diggs in the game and Beasley underneath. Right. Beasley with one of the best catches I've seen all year. On that quick out.
But Mark, if you were a normal sized person, that wouldn't have been such an amazing catch, right? Can we just?
So you're gonna apologize for you're gonna apologize for Josh Allen dropping his elbow again? Okay.
No, incredible catch. Incredible catch, right? And honestly, the Diggs catch in the end zone to give the Bills the lead. Incredible catch, right? Like there were a lot of great plays. There were a lot of great plays in this game. Yes. You know what? The fact that Larry Fitzgerald hasn't dropped a pass in 2 seasons, you can go ahead and look that up. That is true. Larry Fitzgerald hasn't dropped a pass in like 2 seasons at least. He didn't drop that one either. The only reason that was an interception was because Larry Fitzgerald is a Hall of Fame receiver who just doesn't drop anything. There aren't many receivers in the league who will get close to making that catch. I will just be honest with you.
No. And I'll tell you this. If the Buffalo Bills were able to win that game today, minus that Hail Mary, if you talk about, you know how last week we talked about since 2018, September 2018, that was the first time Russell Wilson had 4 turnovers in a game himself. So it doesn't happen very often. If that interception would have led to the Bills scoring and going ahead, you could say, listen, if you're going to count on a Larry Fitzgerald drop to be turned into a pick, that's not going to happen.
It's not. Nope. That is not a drop. That's not a drop. That is what we call in the NBA an alley-oop. Don't know if you knew that one. Let me drop some knowledge on you. That's what that's called. Oh, my God.
NBA. When Murray jumped into the end zone, he was almost as tall as Josh Allen. Stefan. MVP, Bills punting. I'll go with a negative on that one. I'm not sure. But, you want to talk about, even a comment, Mr. Roller Coaster's comments broken. He puts the broken heart
with a broken heart.
Talk about
100% agree.
Talk about a name, though, for that game. It was an absolute roller coaster of emotions, traveling up and down. The lead changes. You're up this much at halftime. You're up this much after the third quarter. You lose the lead in the third quarter. You give up 17 points in the third quarter. And, it's going to be tough. So, obviously, you play with fire until you get burnt. Buffalo Bills, their third quarter scoring. They've been playing with fire the entire year. They haven't gotten burnt too bad. This was a game where they didn't look flat. They didn't give up, a bunch of different things here and there. So you can't really equate it to Kansas City. You can't really equate it to Tennessee. But what did we say, Paul? Or what did you more specifically say? If you're going to lose one, let it be to an NFC team. If you're going to lose.
Yeah, exactly. This is the game you're going to drop, right? If you're going to lose one, honestly, you beat Seattle. Good for you, right? Because that was Seattle and Arizona are 2 games that when you look at them on the schedule, you're like, oh man, I don't know. Those are going to be tough ones. I'm not so worried about San Francisco, right? Like it's just You look at what that team was at the beginning of the season and even last year, and you see it on the schedule before the season. You're like, man, that's not what I'm looking forward to. You think about Arizona, you're like, well, okay. And then they trade for D-Hop, and you're like, oh, damn, that makes them. I mean, that's a game changer for them. Like he's a target hog, right? Like he's a target hog, and he makes them a dangerous football team. He won the football game for him today. Now, but I can't say that D-Hop was alone there. I mean, Murray making time. And you're gonna hear criticism, Mar, how the Bills rushed a few players. I know a lot of people are gonna say, why didn't the Bills just rush two? Because there was 11 seconds left on the clock, right? If Arizona was on their own 20, then yeah, you rush two, right? You rush two.
Yeah.
You rush two. But they weren't, right? Like there's still enough time for Murray to, not get the look that he wants and throw it away and get another play, or to throw something underneath, right? Or just to run out of bounds. Like there's a reason you don't rush two in that scenario. The Bills didn't play it wrong. They had three guys in the area of where the football was going, and they almost got Murray around the edge. Like you can't be frustrated with that because they were there, right? It just D-Hop was D-Hop. This is what he does. He's one of the best receivers in the NFL for a reason.
Yeah, I thought, coming into the game, and I've said all along, I think D-Hop's one of the best, if not the best wide receivers in the league. And he made a play that didn't shock me. You want to go watch the post game, you want to go watch the play-by-play fan reaction. I'm not surprised that he made that play. Because he's the greatest, I think he's the best wide receiver in the league. So that being said, to be put in that scenario though, when there's two they got two timeouts, they're driving on you, they got 34 seconds left. Why is there not more of an angst to keep them in bounds? Why is there not more of an angst to try to do things here and there? I don't know why you put him in a position to try to get in throwing distance. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So
yeah. The Bills really did take their time there, right? Like they allowed Arizona to move the football. Like they took some of the deeper stuff away, right? But Arizona still had some timeouts, and they allowed Arizona to move the football. But again, this is what happens when you have a team that's minus Dean Marlowe because of COVID. You really only have one linebacker in Tremaine Edmonds. AJ Klein, as you saw, is just only really effective in more of a pass rush role. You saw Trent Murphy dropping in coverage on third downs. Not once. I saw it at least 4 times today. And that's a terrifying notion to me, but that tells you where they are with linebacker depth when you're dropping Trent Murphy in third down scenarios, right? Like there's some problems here. They haven't been healthy in the linebacker group at all. And I think this is kind of what happens when you're not great at linebacker. You see teams that will just be able to middle you down the road and get themselves in position to score. And Arizona was able to do that because Buffalo really couldn't do much about it. What are you going to do? Bring more pressure and leave less guys in coverage? Like, what are your options?
It was brutal because the thing that we feared that Arizona brought to the table that we knew Seattle wasn't going to bring to the table was the run game. Mm-hmm. I said if you leave Edmonds, if you just forget about Edmonds and Drake, you're going to pay for it. Drake had 16 carries for 100 yards. True, he had that fumble, but then what did Edmonds contribute? Edmonds had another 60, 70 yards as well, plus Murray. Like they just this run defense, something has to happen, or else you're going to get exposed by really, really good teams. Now, I don't understand how they're able to shut down, quote unquote, a Josh Jacobs for 50 yards. How they're able to shut down a Derrick Henry for 58 yards. Like, I'm sorry. You got to try to drink your drink and you can't do it.
Well, you say Josh Jacobs and then you forget the fact that, Nelson Aguilar was their wide receiver 1. Like you can't, this is not a fair comparison. It was not a fair comparison at that time. Nope.
And true. I mean, they had Tennessee had 3 practice squad guys at receiver that week too.
Well, and the Bills had to start Dane Jackson. Dane Jackson being a beast, right? Love me some Dane Jackson. Get him on this roster. He's not on the roster. The only reason he was able to be called up was because of a COVID call-up, so he could call up guys from the practice squad. He's used his 2 call-ups already, so they got a bonus one because of COVID, but you're not going to see Dane Jackson again this year.
No, shout out to Evan Anderson for correcting me. I thought that this was the time they had to sign him, but I didn't realize it was the C-19 clause. So he was able to get brought up.
Mar, you don't follow our Twitter account, huh? Because I did tweet that today. As soon as it was announced, I was like, oh wait, Dane Jackson's up. So that means So but you got to make room for him on this roster. Like, you just have to. And they went after Dane Jackson today. That first quarter, they were hammering on Dane Jackson, and kid did good. He did good. Like, it's what more could you ask from a practice squad quarterback? Right? Or cornerback. What more could you ask?
Seventh rounder who loves playing physical, who knocked away a touchdown from DeAndre Hopkins in the first drive.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, Lone Wolf says if Dane Jackson goes on the practice squad, somebody will grab him. They don't have to put him on waivers to get him back down. And the Bills actually have 4 players that they're allowed to protect on the practice squad every week to stop teams from signing them. And Dane Jackson 100% will be one of them. Right? If they do send him back down, they really need to find a spot on this roster for him. They need to, because you saw right away, as soon as he went out, and he came back, but he just wasn't quick after he came back. Like, he's really banged up now.
I want to see one game. I want to see one game, because I think this helps both in the run and the pass. One game. You get Trey White and Ciaran Neal as your starting corners, and you put Dane Jackson in the slot. You're telling me that if you do that for one game, you're not going to have success. I don't care. I'm done. Do that for one game for me.
And the truth of the matter is, right, everybody's saying that Norman was a bad signing. And I, admittedly, for what he's given this football team, I think the argument can be made that you're not happy with the money that you spent to get him, right? But Josh Norman was on the IR already this season. Now, the IR rules are you could put a guy on IR and he can come back after 3 games, right? That's great. That's new. We like that. That's a great adjustment to the injured reserve rule. The problem there is you can't put the same guy on IR multiple times. So Norman right now, yes, he tested positive for COVID, probably a blessing in disguise for Norman, right? Because he's not eligible to go back on the IR unless he's going to miss the rest of the season. If you put in a guy on IR twice, that second time he's ineligible to return. So Norman already used up that IR stint. So if you're going to cut him, you're going to lose money there, right? Like, you're going to spend the same money and get nothing for it. You might as well keep him and then probably start shuffling around some of these exterior roster players. That's going to be what happens. Some of these guys on the outside, not a guy like Josh Norman. Norman's going to be on this team because, from a replacement level, you've already made the investment in him. And if you cut him, you're literally just spending the money for literally nothing at that point. So I just don't see Buffalo doing that. They're too pragmatic for that.
You know what's interesting? I don't want to accuse the Buffalo Bills of any type of sleight of hand, but I wonder across the league how many teams put guys on IR for 3 games and then they tested positive after that because you couldn't put them on IR again.
Well, one's a lab test, Mario. Like,
oh yeah, because no football players ever faked a lab test before.
Touche. Touche. Did not see that one coming.
I am done.
Yeah.
No, but the point is, I understand. I'm always wearing a tin hat. You know me. I'm always wearing a tin. There could be a little sleight of hand. You see a guy on IR in New England, and then he's on the C-19 list like a week later. So I'm not sure what happens. That can give you a nice little 5-week stint, on IR if you wanted to. So unfortunately, no, I'm just kidding. Worley came in. I didn't think he was trash. I didn't see too many passes caught in front of him.
They went after him.
They did.
They went after him.
And that's what Kingsbury does. That's what Kingsbury does. That's smart. How he called his 3-minute offense was not so much. But, Paul, how they played today, Here. I think we need to give #Nation a little bit perspective, though. You had beginning of the season. I think right now Arizona's in first in the West.
Because you're welcome, Arizona, for beating Seattle. You're welcome.
Well, yeah, because the Rams beat Seattle today, I think. So I don't know. Because now they're in. I think now they're in first. Okay, that being all said, the Buffalo Bills lost on a Hail Mary to a team you had winning one of the toughest divisions in football.
Right.
What can we take from this loss? And they didn't play their best. Let's just say that. They didn't play their best. What do you take from this loss other than the dissection that we've done of the play calling, of the defense, of certain players and certain pieces? What do you take from this game in the big picture?
Yeah. So if I'm looking at the next 3 games, right? Because you have the bye week now, which is so important. And I'm thrilled to get back in the car, right? And cut some episodes of the car because we do it all year, except for 17 weeks out of the season. You know, like right? I miss it. So I can't wait to get back in the car. But first off, you need to get Matt Milano healthy at whatever cost. Yes. Today's game tells you that you need to get Matt Milano healthy at any cost, because I really think the lack of contain was because you didn't have Milano on the backside, right? Cleaning up a lot of that mess. The Bills really struggled to contain against option quarterbacks. Luckily, Herbert is not an option quarterback. Like, you go through the list of guys and you really don't have a option quarterbacks in the next few games. So that's probably a big plus for you if you're Buffalo right now, because you don't have to worry about that. But this running game is a disaster. And I know Air Raid Allen is fun to talk about, and it's exciting because you can flip a game in one play. But the design runs in this offense are simply to show that simply to put running the football on tape, right? There's just no love to the run game right now. And it's heartbreaking because you see this team get one-dimensional very quickly, and you have to be able to run the football in the NFL. You have to be able to. And the Buffalo just seems to be refusing the ability to they're refusing the opportunity to learn from what they've had in previous games as far as how to make the run successful. And you have to learn to run the football. You have to. And as I said, Air Raid Allen is fun because the game, he could give you 7 points like that. You got to be able to run the football. You just have to.
Grendel, Josh can't put opponents away. He gave him the lead with 34 seconds left. He got the ball back with 410, 414, something like that. Gave them the lead with 34 seconds left. How many times can we say in the past 15, 20 years that a Bills quarterback has done that? Giving you the lead and put it on the defense. He got it back in the game. But I agree with you, Paul. I think the running game has to.
Well, Kurt Lewis brings up a great point, and he says, is that because the O-line has had such, has been so inconsistent? It could be, because your starters are different, right? But if you look at the players that are on there, the only player that's new is Brian Winters. Outside of that, everybody's been there, right? There's not Brian Winters and Darrell Williams, and you'll notice that the Bills won't run the football to the right side. Isn't that fascinating? How you have Winters at right guard, Darrell Williams at right tackle, who's really played very well. But the Bills just won't run the football to the right side. They won't. Why is that? What does that tell you?
That's supposed to be the run side. Roy the viewer is actually pretty entertaining right now. He's entertaining me right now. Thank you, Roy the viewer. He said we kicked y'all ass. We kicked y'all ass. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we still won. Dude, come on. You're splitting hairs here. You won with 2 seconds left in the game. Dynamite drop in.
Go troll another page.
Oh my God.
But no, I'm saying it's and who put it up there? Evan Anderson comes in. He goes, after the bye, Dawkins, Ford, Morris, Feliciano, and Williams. Not angry at that. You know who's been nice to put in there, but he's with the Bengals now? Quinn Spain. I don't
run behind him. You're gonna run behind that ass. Just get right behind it.
No, I know he's playing for the Bengals now. You know, we wish him luck, obviously. Wish him well. But the thing is, Ford has to get healthy. Yeah, I mean, you start to see what we talked about in the offseason a little bit. Is okay, if they're healthy, if they stay healthy, if this guy's healthy, and we talked about the other side of it. Oh my God, man, if Edmonds goes down, man, if Milano goes down, if this guy goes down, what? So going back and forth and all that stuff, it's a building experience, it's a learning experience. Glenn, Spain, Morse, Dawkins, and Williams. Bring Glenn back? He's like 38 years old.
No.
I'd put Cordy inside of Dawkins next to Feliciano.
Okay.
I just want to see Paul's head explode.
Okay. At this point, nothing would shock me. The Bills lost on a Hail Mary with 2 seconds left. Like, my level of shock is exhausted at this point, so nothing would shock me.
Yeah, I'm not okay. Let me just try to phrase this so the nation knows where I'm coming from. You guys have been to enough of these broadcasts. You guys know the deal. Am I mad that the Buffalo Bills lost? Well, it's not going to affect, when I turn this camera off, it's not going to affect everything else that goes on. I'll just say that. Right. Paul knows this. You know this. I know this.
Totally
Am I upset that a very winnable game got away from them? Yeah, it's a little upsetting. Am I brought back in the fact that it's an NFC opponent? It does not hurt them in their conference. It does not hurt them this and that and the other. Would have been great to have a victory knowing that Tennessee lost the other day. Yeah, it would be great to try to have that chip in your back pocket, but Tennessee looks like the wheels are falling off. They're 2-3 in their last 5. We don't know how Kansas City is going to perform. But Kansas City seems like the runaway favorite to get the bye. If you're not one of those teams that are going to get the bye, okay, we understand that. But I'm not too. If a team that's going to win the West, which is one of the stronger divisions in the NFL, they lose to them by 2 points on a Hail Mary, and you didn't play your best game, I'm not mad about it. You know what? Well, you play your best game. Arizona plays their best game. You're going to beat them 9 times out of 10. This just happened to be one time.
So I think you need to look at where the Bills came from and kind of put this into perspective, because I know a lot of people are saying, well, the Bills are starting to suffer, right? But the fact of the matter is they lost to Tennessee, who is, possibly, I should say more than likely a playoff contender. I don't see the Colts holding on to that division, right? So Tennessee very well could still win the South. You haven't played the Steelers yet, so we'll find out what they look like there. You lost to the Raiders. You lost to the Chiefs, who are obviously, the likely contender for the bye week. You beat the Dolphins once, but they're right on your ass. So the teams that you've played that were of playoff caliber, those games haven't gone very well, right? The Seattle game and the Arizona game, you again played 2 playoff caliber teams or division, or division championship teams, right? Very, very much in that conversation. And you played them very well. You beat Seattle, you almost beat Arizona, right? So the fear for me was the Bills weren't performing in those playoff caliber scenarios, right? And Seattle and Arizona makes me feel better about their progress, actually, even though they've been more and more and more banged up and they've needed this bye week to come more and more and more. I feel better about the Bills than I did 3 weeks ago because, I'm watching them lose to playoff teams, right? And now they beat Seattle, which I was great for them. And then they almost beat Arizona. So I am feeling better about this, even though when you take a look at it, they lost, 3 out of 4 possible division opponents. Yeah, but they almost beat Arizona. Yeah, and they beat Seattle. So I'm down with that. I'm okay with that walking into the bye week. I'm all right with that.
I mean, you give up 32. You give up 32 to the Rams. You give up 34 to the Seahawks, and you just gave up 32. Where's this defense? I love it. Look at Paul Berg trying to say I'm an angry drunk. Like I had half a glass of water that's renamed Coors Light. Like, how am I drunk? Hey,
Guys,
I just want to say, Rico, Go ahead.
We've called games and I looked at Mara. I was like, oh man, like Mara's pretty deep. Right? That first sportscaster game, Mario got deep quick.
I want to welcome
like,
Rico Ali to the practice squad as he just joined.
Oh, hey, what's up?
What's up, Rico? Thank you. And the Punt Foundation as well. Thanks you. Wanted to say, I mentioned it during the broadcast and I'll mention it now. All of the super chats and all of the channel memberships. So after you subscribe to the channel, if you want to join the channel memberships, all that until the end of the year is getting donated to the Punt Foundation. I think the second or third week of January, Paul and I are going to do a huge check presentation to the Punt Foundation from #Nation. So you guys made this happen. All the money we raised last year, we just been piling on top of it. And you guys, I can't believe all the other stuff you guys have been doing for the channel. And it's just absolutely amazing. Paul and I are just completely, we're ecstatic about it. Let's just put it that way. So, but Paul, any closing? We're at that hour. Do we have any closing thoughts for the nation? Special guest Brian Mormon. Yeah, we should get him in the car, man.
Yeah, why not? Oh, hey, Anthony, here's to Rico joining. Hey, and again, anything that was donated in the super chat tonight, 100% of anything in the super chat, 100% of the membership fees until the end of the year, all of it goes to the Punt Foundation. So anything you guys donate, that's exactly where it's going. We're not touching a single 1 cent of it. So we're really excited, and it's nice to give a great organization, to be able to pedal together, a few $1,000s. Like that's a big deal for two yahoos, driving around in their car and talking sports with a bunch of other people crazy enough to join us. So we thank you for that. Yes. So first off, watch those injury reports, man. Like that's the big thing for me. I want to know if Dane Jackson's healthy. I need to know how Matt Milano is doing. And, honestly, today, option football scares me against this defense, right? That really good option football scares me. So I'm not worried about that over the next 2 games once the Bills come back. But at some point, that's going to rear its ugly head because teams aren't going to miss that. They're just not going to miss that. So we'll see. We'll see. This defense is on life support. That's where they are. They're just on life support.
Yeah. They definitely need to get healthy. We are, as I stated before, we are going to be in the car this weekend, this Saturday. I can't wait to do that and edit those bad boys. It's been a while since I was able to edit those. We're gonna try to have a hype video. We're gonna go, analyze who the biggest donator was, and we're going to try to get in contact with you in order to film an episode. You, me, and Paul are going to be on an episode. So make sure you smash that like button. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button. We are so close to 3,000 subs. We can't believe that we're actually at 3,000. But it's all because of you guys, the nation. You guys keep us going each and every week. We're going to try to have a bunch more content for you in the upcoming weeks. So we're excited about it. So
bye-week fun, baby. Bye-week fun.
Bye-week fun is going to be...
I look forward to the bye-week every year, man. I really do.
Thank you, Elliot. I know, right? Thank you, Elliot.
Love it.
Appreciate it. So from Paul, who's over here... For Paul, I'm Mario. This is #sports. We are trending now and trending later. Thank you guys for joining us for the post game. I'm going to go try to get some tea and find my voice again. We're going to see you this weekend in the car. Hopefully, we'll have a little bit of a roundtable discussion as well. So thank you for joining us. Take care, guys.